Virtus Pro's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Death Prophet.
Virtus Pro's turn to pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in here to the Dota Pit League Season 2. Of course, we're about to get underway with Virtus Pro versus Power Rangers. Again, my name is Mon. Thank you so much for joining us today. 2 games on the docket. We've got this game, obviously, and then Virtus Pro versus 4AC later on. Of course, we had a long break. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been a while. Obviously, Star Ladder was around. We had a lot of other tournaments as well. But we are now underway and what seems to be a pretty good draft. I do want to say, by the way, I gotta say, these Game Zero headsets coming out from Sennheiser are absolutely fantastic. And of course, they're going to be our sponsors alongside Sapphire, AMD, Twitch, and Testro. So we will get underway in the draft right now. Of course, joining me today is none other than F4L Dota. F4L, can you hear me? How are you, bud?
I can hear you, dude. How you doing?
Uh-oh. We're in some trouble.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear him. We've lost it. That's not good. Bit unfortunate.
Radiant team ban.
For some reason, I could hear Dota, but not Skype. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. All right, I got you now, buddy. I'm sorry. That's on me. I can hear you now. I can hear you. Yes.
All right, nice.
All right, my bad. How are you, buddy?
Excellent. I'm good, dude. How are you?
Good. You know, a little bit tired, but very excited because we're back here with Dota Pit League Season 2. I gotta say, these are two teams that I think a lot of people don't give enough credit for. You talk about Virtus Pro and you talk about Power Rangers. They're very solid teams. And I'd go as far to say is they have a good chance of making the playoffs, obviously, in their group. So we'll see how things do turn out.
Especially Power Rangers. Like, recently they've been showing, like, some really strong Dota.
Yeah, and they actually have a couple of stand-ins too, so it's surprising that they're playing this well, but they seem to be firing on all cylinders. Diddy Ra has been playing extraordinarily well. Shaklo, of course, is a great player for them on top of it all. And they just have some good drafts too. I mean, you look at this draft right now, Abaddon to Death Prophet to come out here for Power Rangers. Pretty solid start for them in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they picked the Abaddon to counter the Batrider as well as the Skywrath Mage. You know, stop some nuke damage. And, you know, the Death Prophet, always a solid pick. I'm pretty sure, like, pretty much every team, like, first picks this hero if it's available.
It's just so dumb to deal with. It's just a stupid hero.
I wouldn't be sad if the hero got, like, nerfed into...
Oblivion?
Yeah, unplayableness almost.
I mean, listen, and I've talked about this before. I would just be okay if Death Prophet was just not in the game. I'm okay with that with a couple of heroes, in fact, but Death Prophet I think is my #1 target.
You know, it kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know if it's as bad. Like, remember old Naga from, like, TI2?
I do remember
that. How, like, it was just really painful to watch.
Yes,
I mean, I don't know if DP is as painful to watch, but it's like that same level of, like, discontent that I have for that hero.
Yes, I feel you there. Now, the difference, I think, between those heroes is that you talk about how painful it was to see a Naga Siren and like, just farming for years, it felt like, and then just have Song of the Siren win you the game, essentially. You know, it's sort of like that with Death Prophet Ultimate, but at least you're getting a bit more action out of the hero, you know?
That is true.
So.
It's definitely more action-packed than the old Naga was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Virtus Pro, go ahead and pick up the Earthshaker and the Lycan. Lycan sort of coming back, I think, due to EG's play. I think everyone sort of ignored the hero for a while. People weren't sure if it was still good with the new ult changes. And then EG has been playing it a lot, almost every time it's available.
5 seconds
and
remaining.
They've been showing a lot of success with it, so I think a lot of teams are going to start playing it again. And honestly, HAL wasn't affected at all in the previous patch, so...
And that like wins you your laning phase for a couple of like your offlaner has a better time because he's getting extra damage to work with. Your mid laner is winning your mid matchup. Like we saw Fear go to work in that last series because of the Lycan and the Howl. Like Fear was playing that puck and he destroyed mid occasionally. He played very well in that series, and I think a lot of it was due to the Howl coming out from Lycan. So
it's sort of similar to like Drill Aura,
yes,
where you just it's not as good, I would say, but it's similar in the effect it has on the game. So, and also EG also runs it with Visage sometimes, so they get the little bit of extra familiar damage. Let's see what BP are going to pick. They need a carry and an offlaner most likely. It's very hard to predict what they're going to pick. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like a Clinks or a Slark coming out for them. They like both of these heroes. And Ditka plays them very well.
Honestly, I really think Clinks deserves a better shot in some of these matches. I feel like he's not picked nearly often enough, and that hero is still very strong. He's got plenty of nuke potential. The issue is, I think, locking some of these heroes down is that Clinks doesn't necessarily have the best job with that. And the offlaner now that is seeing a lot of play, primarily because of Medusa, is Nyx Assassin. And this is going to be the pick for Power Rangers, and something that's very solid, I'd say, coming out from PR. So,
I definitely like the Nyx Assassin pick. I think it does a decent job in the offlane against Skywrath. And you can get Carapace at level 1.
5 seconds remaining.
Usually a good Skywrath player will try to time their auto so that it hits right before the Arcane Bolt, but at least you mitigate some of the damage that's going to come out. So I think it does it, and then once Nyx gets some levels, you absolutely destroy Skywrath. And it's also very good against Batrider. You can Carapace the Firefly, stun Batrider up, chain stun him, and take him down. It's decent against Earthshaker and Lycan, not amazing, but I think it's a pretty good offlane hero right now. A little bit underused, I think.
Agreed. I think this guy is certainly one that could see a lot more play. I mean, he really didn't get changed that much when he was played super often in the offlane. He still has a very high base regen, but...
Well, they changed the mana burn, right? And then he sort of fell off. And then, because other heroes started become... Usually in the offlane, you have some AoE teamfight control hero.
Yes.
Tidehunter, Void, Puck, all these heroes.
Yes.
Even THD, so...
I mean, the heroes that essentially, like you mentioned, give you plenty of decent team fight control. But Nyx Assassin can also give you that. Nyx can give you some big, 2, 3, even 4-man impales. And like we've talked about how...
It's basically a Ravage.
Exactly. It's a Ravage. If you get lucky, you essentially get a free Ravage if you have a nice blink. And we saw many people put that to work in the past couple of weeks because of, like we talked about, the Medusa. You talked about Skywrath Mage. He's very good against that hero. That hero is paper against Nyx. And Nyx is going to Nyx all over Skywrath Mage if he finds him. And he gets levels. So it's kind of exciting. I think this is a solid pickup, but we'll have to see how things go. It's also good for stopping a Lycan before it can get a BKB. A well-timed impale, and whether you have your ultimate or not, there's a good chance that you can get this pick off. And I like that for Power Rangers that they have the Bane and Nyx. So they have plenty of potential to stop this Lycan from just, pushing and getting away scot-free with his ultimate. I mean, you have your Bane ultimate, you have your Nyx Assassin impale. That is one way to deal with a Lycan, so...
I wouldn't be surprised if their last pick is something that can go around and kill things with their last core. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if it was either, like I said, the Clinks or the Slark. Is that what I said? Oh, they banned the Slark, though. So Virtus Pro, knowing that Ditka and VP, our Power Rangers, like to run the Slark, maybe we'll see the Clinks. They might be a bit nervous about running Clinks because they would have 2 Invis heroes, and then Virtus Pro might just be able to 5-man walk down mid.
Yeah, it's...
Or just 5-man push.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it does go, as we will get underway here. For some reason, my microphone is very low right now, so hopefully I'll be able to fix that in a second here. I do apologize. Apparently I'm very quiet.
You sound... normal volume to me.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Remaining.
It might just be XSplit. I think it is XSplit. I think XSplit screwed up.
5 seconds remaining.
I might have to actually just restart the stream. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Clinks. There we go.
Be right a second. All right. For everyone in game, hopefully you guys can still hear me pretty well. As far as I understand it, let's see here. All right, so what happened was I was fiddling with my microphone before we got on for the cast, and it so happens that it's to use the other microphone in XSplit for whatever reason. So now I'm going to try and make this work here. So I'm going to restart the stream. It wouldn't be a MOT stream, a MOT cast without some issues. We will get underway here in a second. So thank you so much for joining us, guys, on Dota Pit. We should be back in momentarily. Please work test.
5 seconds remaining.
I think it's still pretty quiet. Hopefully we have gotten everything under control. Yeah, you know what? I knew it. It changed the microphone in XSplit. Those jerks. All right. Well, good thing we didn't miss much, actually. That's the good thing
nice.
here.
They're having Skype problems.
Exactly.
Excellent.
All right. My apologies, everybody. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm gonna explain the same thing that I just explained in game to the stream. So I was having some audio issues before we actually got underway here. So I decided to, unplug my microphone and plug it back in. And then XSplit decided to say, hey, listen, we don't see a microphone. We're going to switch to one here randomly. And it took actually my webcam microphone, I believe. So if it sounded like ass and if it sounded a bit quiet, that is the reason why. My apologies. F4L, we're back. And what do you think of the draft so far? What do you like? Who do you like? Who are you rooting for? What do you got?
I really like Power Rangers draft. I think they always show these heroes that they really like, and they actually execute them so well. Like this Clinks pick, I don't think any other team, aside from maybe Cloud9, execute the Clinks at the same level that Power Rangers do.
Yeah.
They have this... They get him his level 7 or level 6, and then they have him just run around the map, and he's like a movable observer ward, and they try to get picks. And I think they'll go for a similar style this game. Maybe he might farm a bit longer this game because they don't have as many carries as they usually have. But then he goes pure damage with a blink. And I mean, he skips BKB, no defensive items. This guy is like, I will dodge every ability that you throw at me with my Blink Dagger, and I'll make it work. And it's pretty crazy to see. Like in the last game I saw him play this, he just went Blink Dagger. No, he had Daedalus, then he had Blink Dagger, then Deso, and then I think another damage item of some sort, but he didn't go a BKB. And I was sort of questioning it during the game, and then he showed me wrong by like two-shotting their entire team. But
see, that would be sketchy to me. Like against an Earthshaker, I'd be like, I don't know about that.
It was like a similar type of heroes. Like he just has a lot of confidence in his ability to just dodge everything with Blink Dagger.
I mean, you've got to be damn good, and you've got to be ballsy as all hell to be able to do that. And I'm excited to see this. You've hyped him up for me now, man. And I'm expecting a lot from this game for Power Rangers. I'll say that much. So, we will have this pause here. There are some Skype problems for those of you just joining us for Virtus Pro. So we'll be taking a bit of a quick break here. While we have the time, I actually just finished up, of course, myself and Gerg, or What Is Sip, just finished up this new overlay. We're going to show up the standings real quick for both Group A and B. Obviously, Virtus Pro, they're currently in Group A along with Power Rangers. And look at the standings here. Virtus Pro, 4 wins, 0 losses, 6 points. They are only 1 win behind Evil Geniuses. And Power Rangers, they're sitting at 1-3, surprisingly. Usually I'd say Power Rangers, they'd probably be up there, but, they're sitting at 6th place tied with 4 anchors. So, Virtus Pro, they can continue on here, and maybe they'll have a good time. We'll see how things do go. I mean, Power Rangers, I think they need to get this victory to move forward here. And honestly, I think with the draft, they have the capability of doing so.
My one concern for Power Rangers draft is that if VP get a bit ahead, I think, in the early stage, they could just 5-man, and there wouldn't be much Power Rangers could do about it, since they need to find pickoffs with the Nyx Assassin and the Clinks. They're not the best team fighters early game, so they're really going to have to prioritize split pushing and have a early start, so see what happens.
Well, we are going to jump into the game.
Well,
this is interesting. For who?
TPs himself. Sidoi TPs himself to the bottom lane to get his early ward out without it being seen.
This is something you see a lot from a Nature's Prophet, but not from necessarily a Batrider. That's ballsy as all hell. But I mean, it's fine. It's just a waste of money. Not a waste, I suppose, but
they have sentries. Like, this should just get dewarded, because I think the only spot where you might not get dewarded is right here. Because generally the sentry placements are here and here. And so this is like slightly outside the range, but I mean, this just gets scouted by the second sentry ward that's going to get placed.
I've seen the ward like here a couple of times, like in this general vicinity, like you were throwing out here as well. But and that's worked really well. This ward seems a bit questionable to me. The problem with this is Sidoi actually, he does get 2 pooled tangos, and he's actually going to throw his boots out. I was going to say he had no regen because of that, but.
He's dropping his boots so he can block better. I just don't understand why you would TP and then not place what I consider the most optimal ward. Like, usually why you don't get it here is because you can't get there, right?
No.
So, anyways.
Well,
either
either way.
Introduce.
Yes, we're going to get underway
teams.
here. Interestingly enough, Diddy does pick up a Soul Ring recipe, so that'll be his choice. And he is going to be your Clinks player for Power Rangers down in the bottom lane. Joining him will be Sonico. He'll be on the Abaddon, and we'll have J4 on the Bane as well. Mid lane, we'll have Shocklow. He'll be playing your Death Prophet. And then top lane, it is going to be Cheshire Cat on your Nyx Assassin.
And then for the side of Virtus Pro, we have Jotum playing the Earthshaker. Probably going to see a lot of roaming out of him. Sidoi playing the offlane Batrider. BZZ is perfect on the mid lane Venomancer, Yol playing the Skywrath Mage, and G playing the Lycan.
This is something we don't see often. G usually the mid lane player, but right now he is going to be heading towards that off lane. And Cheshire Cat manning up against Yol right now. Spike Carapace is going to go. Yol decides to not hit him. There's the howl, so Yol can only get in a few hits before Cheshire Cat does back away. But Power Rangers, Cheshire Cat is taking a lot of harass here. This is really good zoning coming up from Yol, and until Mana Burn comes up, I think, honestly, Cheshire Cat can't really move up forward here at all.
You know, Nyx is usually very good against the harassment that comes out of Skywrath, but the extra, I believe it's 14 damage at level 1 Howl. So he got an extra 14 damage. I mean, that basically mitigates the Stout Shield completely, so even when it procs.
There will be a couple more Spike Carapaces going away. Meanwhile, mid lane, block onto Shocklow, getting caught out. They use the Gale as well. He's in some trouble. Cryptstorm, not enough damage to do anything. And BZZ picks up your first blood as your mid lane Venomancer. Jotum with the beautiful play, but Shocklow being way too far up there. I mean, he was here when he got fissured off.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was even further. He was like right here or something. But I think, yeah, usually against Earthshaker, you don't want to cross this line, because if you get blocked off right here, I mean, that's like the point of no return when you're playing against this roaming support Earthshaker.
Yeah. You're just dead at that point. And
yeah.
I've seen it so often. Going back to before 6.81, a lot of NEL. I remember KZZ, I believe, playing that hero very often, and he would just Fisher block like crazy. It was like him and PPD in NEL that would just go crazy with that, and they got plenty of kills. And now we see it coming out from pretty much every team. And already an effective kill for Virtus Pro. Again, they are, I think, 4-0 currently in Dota Pit. So if they can get a victory here, that is going to put them tied with Evil Geniuses. And with the victory in terms of like a complete map win, they'll just be winning. Meanwhile, Yol, top lane Cheshire Cat, they're duking it out. G comes in as well, but he's more intent on farming. Nightmare in the mid lane, BZZ getting caught out. Cryptstorm coming in, Brain Sap, not nearly enough damage. And Jotum with great positioning yet again. Forces out a great Fisher, but they just can't find a kill here for Power Rangers, honestly.
Although BZZ only has 2 CS right now.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
I mean, he's having a really tough... Shocklow is just pushing out these waves, and Venomancer with his... Well, I guess he has good base damage now since he got that kill and was able to get a Wraith Band. But not the greatest of base damages. Although, 2 CS, I think he should have more, but... He's probably sitting okay since he got the first blood.
The problem I have with BZZ in this game right now is that it just Death Prophet again. We talk about how good this hero is. You get an early null talisman, the base damage is ridiculous, and with Hal, that's one of the ways BZZ will get farm. But he's still having a rough time. Meanwhile, top lane Cheshire Cat, Hal goes. They already used the concussive shot. They will pop up despite Carapace, but he's gonna get caught out. Fisher does connect. They're gonna block him off as well with Jotum in his butt. but nice miss coil coming in from Sonico. Great rotation. He gets the Aphonic shield off as well, and Cheshire Cat will stay alive. Oh, that was close. I thought he was dead for sure.
I think Jotum may have canceled his auto, which could have resulted in his death. I'm not sure if it would have killed him, but it would have been really close. But excellent rotation by the stand-in Sonico on the Abaddon. And I mean, that's what you have to do with this hero. If you're not doing plays like that, the hero isn't that good. You have to be constantly prepared with your TPs and ready to save your allies. So.
It's almost like a Dazzle in that case with TP Shallow Grave. They're very similar. Nightmare down bottom, Sadoy getting caught out. I think J4 was just trying to make sure he doesn't get got on with the Firefly there. 3 stacks of the Napalm. We haven't really checked in on Diddy. He's sitting at 24 last hits right now. He has plenty of money for a Soul Ring if he wants to buy, but I think he might be saving for a Midas. I'm not sure, or just going for that straight blink. He actually picks up the Midas recipe. It is flying out to Diddy Raw right now.
He's going to opt for the Midas. I can't remember if he went the I don't think he went the Midas the last time I saw him play this, but they had a different draft, so maybe thinking that he has to pull a bit more weight this time.
Yeah, against G, that's probably fair, but at the same time, Lycan's a pretty early game kind of aggressive hero, so I am surprised he is going for this. I mean, the towers might fall by the time he gets up any useful items here.
I think he feels like if VP get off to too good of a start, they might just lose anyways, no matter what items he does.
Yeah.
So he wants to be a bit more greedy. Oh, and it looks like Sadoy might just fall to the solo Bane.
J4 just brain zaps him, gets the kill. Nicely done coming out from the Bane. He'll pick it up and head back towards the mid lane. And I don't know what he was doing there. I think he was just trying to farm, but he got a bit too aggressive and Sadoy falls. So that's not something you see too often from a Bat Rider. And, you know, he wasn't really on pace for an early blink, but that certainly sets him back regardless.
Yeah, he was just farming way too aggressively in the jungle, trying to prevent Bane from pulling, as well as get some experience and CS for himself. He's doing quite well in the offlane though, 18 CS. As opposed to his counterpart who only has 4, but Nyx is also getting some good experience in the offlane because they're trying to push his tower.
Yeah, Jotum gets miscoiled and takes a bit of right click damage from Sonico and Cheshire Cat. So yeah, I mean, you talk about Cheshire Cat, he's not really grabbing the CS, but I guess we'll hold that thought as J4 is going at Sadoy here in the river. Diddy Rod's going to come in right now, and one more Searing Air would do the job. He's going to bottle up, and he will stay alive with that last bottle charge coming in. BZZ comes in as Will's Jotum to help him out and make sure he stays alive, and he does just that. So Power Rangers get close to getting that kill. They can't grab it, and now it looks like Diddy Raw has to go back down to the bottom lane. His Midas is already being pretty effective here. He got that at about 5 minutes, I'd say, and he's put it to good use. Meanwhile, BZZ has caught up, 27 CS. We talked about his CS early in the game. It was bad, and now he's up there.
It really was. And Jotum is playing really well right now. He's always in the right place at the right time with the Fishers. You know, he got the first blood mid for his mid player, and he's been saving a bunch of kills for VP right now.
The only issue I have, and I have this issue with a lot of Earthshakers, is that your leveling is, that's just, it's very, very tough when it comes to levels. But winning these lanes, I think, is more important than anything else. So as long as he's getting something done for the rest of his squad, which he's clearly doing, I think it's fine. Yul takes an Impale in the top lane. He'll back away. Currently 49 CS for the Lycan. Some of this coming from the jungle, but G picks up his lives at about 7 minutes. It's a pretty good mark to have. So
I feel like when we talk about Earthshaker experience, it sort of reminds me, people always have the discussion about Enigma and if Black Hole is like the reason why the hero is good, or if the hero would be good without it. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Does the actual casting of the spell matter that much? And I sort of feel the same way about Earthshaker. Like, does Blink's like really nice to have, but it's not really necessary for Earthshaker to have a big impact on the game. Sort of like how Enigma can have a big impact without like ever using Black Hole.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, except for the fact that with a Blink Dagger, your level of plays is so much higher. I mean, like, I understand what you're going for there, but I don't know. I'd rather have a Blink Dagger than not have it.
There's so many games where Earthshaker just never gets a blink and doesn't even matter. I mean, I've seen games where Earthshaker's like level 6 and they win the game.
True. That's true. And like, PBD had like a 50-minute Blink Dagger or something like that. I think you were there with me.
Funny.
Yeah. I was like, I guess that works. I mean, they didn't really need him. to have it, but they got it regardless, and they won the game with it, theoretically.
Radiant's
So
middle tower is under
8
attack.
minutes 30 seconds into the game, not a whole lot of kills, just a lot of farming right now. Again, we talked about G, he's your CS leader, and obviously your net worth leader. G is someone that I'm always impressed watching. I'm always impressed by, I should say. He's so damn good in almost, it seems like every position, more often than not, either the mid or the carry role. G's Invoker is legendary. Not that we've seen that too often lately, but it's quite good. Meanwhile, they're chasing after BZZ. Diddy Rock comes in. He is roaming a lot, this Clinks. He's trying to get kills. Down bottom, Nightmare on Jottam. Sidoi will take it. Jottam will take it away. The Nightmare jungling coming out from jungling rather coming out from both of these heroes, and they'll back away. Meanwhile, they're going to take top. First heal and tower going down, and Yo will grab the kill. Doesn't save it for G. G's like, well, I guess you could have it. That's fine. Cheshire Cat is getting owned by these wolves as well, so.
Yeah. And Ditka starting his typical Roman Prince style. Looks like he's going to clear out the jungle. He usually like parks himself in the enemy jungle and just does camps in between skeleton walking around to get vision, see where the enemy is, and also try to get pickoffs. It's like they're gonna make a rotation to mid, but they're not gonna find anyone here. They might just transition into a push.
They do have BZZ putting up all these wards, and I think if they get G in as well, they could really just start pushing this tower, and it looks like they will just go right for it, like you talked about. They'll put up an observer ward here as well, and the one issue I have with Virtus Pro right now is that what does Sidoi have exactly? He's getting close to his blink dagger, so when they get that item, I think Virtus Pro have a very good chance of just taking this game with some lassos coming in. And really the only thing they have on Power Ranger side is the Clinks is kind of farmed. He has the Soul Ring and a Midas, and Shaklo is seeing about 1,200 gold and phase boots. So I mean, he's getting some farm as well.
And my only issue right now for Power Rangers, they don't really have a good way to initiate right now. When Virtus Pro just group up and they do these 4 or 5 man pushes, I mean, what are they going to use to initiate? Maybe you can get in with a Nyx. I mean, he really needs a blink dagger this game.
Yeah, he's ways away from that though. That's the problem.
I mean, you have the Fiend script, but it's not really a great initiating tool.
Right.
Because I mean, they just have the Earthshaker Fisher, all the Plague Wards. I'm just not sure how they're going to initiate fights into this lineup. And honestly, if you take really long, drawn, prolonged fights against this Venomancer, you're going to have a rough time.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get his R button off, plus Poison Sting from all of his wards, and you're just going to die. And you talk about an initiation factor. I mean, that's what last was there for Virtus Pro. Maybe you could walk in and press your R button if you're Shaklo, but even that is kind of questionable. You'll just get blown up by all of the burst damage coming in from Virtus Pro. So I agree with you. Power Rangers aren't in the best situation. I think their squad really forms around ganks and solo pickoffs more than anything else. And that's fine, but that's not what Virtus Pro are doing. And I gotta say, for both of these squads, this is a very passive game. 12 minutes in and 2 kills. It's still pretty, tense, but at the same time, not the most exciting game in the world.
I think it favors VP for now. I think if it goes on too long, it'll start to favor Power Rangers. As long as VP are getting towers and acquiring map control, I think they're fine with the game being maybe not as kill-centric as normal.
I mean, they are going to be getting towers. That's the thing. Oh, BZZ in some trouble. Oh, they will get the Fiend Script off from the high ground here. BZZ should fall. Not taking that much damage. There's the mana burn. One more right click should do the job. And Pale does connect. He was actually so slow from the Venomous Scale. Cheshire Cat getting kind of lucky there. They will back away. And now actually Jottam's coming up, but he is alone. He isn't even Arcanes yet, or level 6. But at this point, he's made a lot of room with these Fishers. So finally the 3rd kill of the game, and it does go to Power Rangers. And they will rotate back down bottom as there is some pressure coming in from G.
Yeah, and it's really important for Power Rangers to find these kills while VP are farming.
Oh, Cheshire, rather Shaklo getting caught out. There's going to be a great Fisher coming in. Mystic Flare, but not enough damage to secure the kill. Shaklo going to pop his Exorcism. There's the Enchant Totem. Silence as well. Jottam is getting blown up. Still Silence. No mana for Fisher. Crypt Swarm. Jottam has to TP away, and he might make it out. In fact, he will. Just barely, and Shaklo will make it out as well, which is the more important thing. He should have been dead. Mystic Flare and a Fisher combo, you don't live half the time.
I actually thought he was going to turn and get a double kill.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough initial bursts to kill him. He popped the Exorcism. They were both out of mana and spells, and I think he was a bit nervous of a TP reaction, or he would have just gone for it. Because he had the damage to kill both of them.
Yeah, that was, he was very close to just kind of blowing this game wide open, I'd say. Had he gotten those 2 kills, all of a sudden he's farmed. He probably has his Yule Scepter. Not that he's not too far away from it now. He just actually needs the recipe, I believe. Sage's Mask, something like that. So, BZZ, though, heading over to the Roche Pit. Is there vision here from the Radiant side? They have a Radiant Ward. They know this is happening, but no Exorcism. So, I mean, with no Exorcism, I don't think you can contest this.
Yeah, you can't contest this. They're probably gonna go for some pushes, but I mean, Earthshaker can just fish her. I think they'll get this anyways.
Take the tower.
I think they'll rotate top and get the top tower as well.
So all of a sudden, they're the ones now putting pressure on these towers. That again, though, Roshan is gonna fall here. G will pick up the Aegis. He has his Vlads, Treads, Midas. He did go for the Midas a bit late, but, you know, he wants to keep up with this Clinks right now, and I think he's doing a nice job of that. He is the highest net worth, but only by about 300. The Clinks is Treads, 2.3k gold in the bank, and they are rotating up to the top lane. All right.
And he's going to purchase up a Mithril Hammer. I wonder if we're going to see a... I bet it's going to be a Desolator.
You know,
just because of how he plays Clinks.
Honestly,
usually I would think it's a BKB.
Exactly. But with what you said and the information you gathered, I think that's probably the likely choice. She's gonna get ulted. He does pop his shapeshift, but do they have enough damage to bring him down? It looks like no. Oh, he will get it with the brain tap, and now he doesn't have his Aegis or his shapeshift coming in. She's going to get caught up, but here comes Yule. Zaphotic Shield is up on Saniko. He does have borrowed time. They will not continue to chase. They are out of mana on Cheshire Cat. He didn't have enough for Impale. His Arcanes were available, but he decided not to use them. But good rotations for Virtus Pro so that they do keep G alive, and they only lose the Aegis there.
Yeah. That was basically the Lycan nerfs coming into play right there.
Uh-oh. Yule's Jottum. The silence actually missed coming out from Shocklow, but it doesn't matter if they get the kill. Yeah, Clinks just blew him up.
That was like 3 hits, I think, and he was just dead.
Yeah, that's only with Treads, and Mithril Hammer, and Midas. It is max searing arrows against I think a level 5 Earthshaker. Yeah, so he's looking at a 6 level difference. Yule getting caught out. Ancient Seal did go. Mystic Flare off the mark. He is gonna fall. The Bane grabs the kill with the Brain Sap. But Fisher on to 3, but there is no follow-up coming in.
They do have the wolves, but it's not going to be enough to kill this guy.
No, J4 will be fine, I think. Yep, he's good to go, in fact. And so Power Rangers, they're not necessarily leading in terms of straight-up farm, but they are leading in kills. And that is going to get them up in... it's about even in net worth right now, if we look at the graph. And experience-wise, it's actually going in Power Rangers' favor by about 2,000, so... What looked to be a very good start for Virtus Pro, besides BZZ in that mid lane, is now turning out to be pretty even in terms of the way the gold is going.
I'm surprised that BZZ didn't go for a mech on this Venomancer. I feel like had he just bought a mech and perhaps Mana Boots, like Mana Boots mech, that route, they could have just 5-maned and pushed. I think Power Rangers, sorry, have a lot more tools now to defend since they've gotten the level 11 on the Death Prophet. The Clinks is starting to pick up a lot of harmony, it's a lot of damage.
But he falls immediately. That Clinks is going to work. Look at G die instantly. And that's without his Desolator complete. The searing arrows are blowing people up. My God, Diddy's just going ham at this point in time. 3 dead across the map. There is a Midas done for Power Rangers Cheshire Cat as well. BZZ's pushing top. And I agree with you on the mech, but I also think that the Aghanim Scepter is going to do some work this game because they're not going for a BKB on the Clinks.
You can't... I mean, you can BKB to mitigate the damage, but it still persists after BKB, right?
Yeah, that was a change they just made. But at the same time, I mean, as long as you're not taking the damage, I don't know, that's how I feel about it anyway.
Well, at the early levels of BKB, it's a big deal, but then as the game goes longer, the 5-second BKB just isn't going to be enough against Venom.
This is something people have been talking about a lot on Twitter. It feels like the nerfs to BKB have made it so... They've been changing it so BKB is not as big of a factor as it once was. Like, refresher orbs are now a big deal. And we've talked about, obviously, the changes to a lot of these ultimates coming in.
It's actually pretty important to have a refresher in your carry late game now, so that you can BKB twice.
Meanwhile, Tiddyrog getting caught out. Well, maybe not. Cheshire Cat comes in. He does take care of some of that Mystic Flare. Cryptstorm comes in. They dust up as well. Fisher comes as well. G getting caught low. There's the Gale. Double damage on BZZ. J4 getting caught out. He's going to try to live with the brain set, but he will fall. As soon as they saw that DD come out for BZZ, they said, okay, we're backing off. There's a Necro book up as well. Yeah. It's time to just get out as quickly as possible.
They also can't take these 5-man team fights still. The damage and AoE and pick-off potential coming out from Virtus Pro, they just can't handle it right now. And I think they should get 2 towers. I would imagine they'll just press forward. They still have the lasso. You know, everything is available to them right now.
Yeah, they've got a.
Wow, they're playing this really timidly, actually.
I'm surprised they didn't go for 2 there, but they do want to just farm top. But maybe they feel as if this goes late, G can carry through and just destroy everybody, but I'm not sure that's the case. I mean, you saw how fast he got bursted down, and speaking of which, they will find Sidor in the jungle, as I missed that kill. His Desolator, it is a laser gun, man. He's pew-pewing all over the place.
I just feel like every time they aren't 5-man, they're exposing themselves to be picked off.
I mean, exactly. You look at what he's doing now top lane. Jottam was seconds away from death. Had he not been near that tower. And look at the tower damage. Searing Arrows plus Desolator obliterates this tower. Diddy in a bad place. Mystic Coil, rather. Not Mystic Coil. Helping him out. Orthotic Shield as well. Nightmare coming in. That'll be on G. Jottam comes through. Does not take it away. J4 backing away now as he was a bit deep in. Deep penetration warding mission coming out from J4. Meanwhile, I hear a strafe coming in, but I think he was going for an illusion.
Yeah, it's an illusion. So I think that the go time for VP is going to be when Lycan finishes his book 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like they aren't playing this entirely correctly. I just... The Midas picked up on Nyx Assassin. Wow, that's something you don't see every day.
No, it's definitely not.
And the blink on Clinks has just been picked up, so he's going to be ratting all over the place now. But I think anytime...
He's getting caught out. Sorry to cut you off there, but Yol will fall. Anyways, continue.
I think, so anytime that VP can force Power Rangers to all be in the same place at the same time, like they did in the jungle, they just need to push, because there's going to be no split push potential coming out from the Clinks. You know, DP isn't going to be able to do any split pushing shenanigans. And I feel like every time they get Power Rangers all grouped together, they need to be pushing. Especially when they're in a defensive position. So, I believe the go time will be when the Necro 3 is completed, which was just now. Hopefully they go now, because I think if they continue to farm, they're just going to get picked apart.
I mean, that's the stance right now. You'll get BZZ in the top lane. Now you are not leaving, my friend. And then Tiddyrog comes in, they blow up a hero. And that's going to be, of course, BZZ going down the bottom lane. Uh-oh, Flame Break. J4, you are in trouble, my friend. He has no ultimate coming out. Great Nightmare to save him. But the Necros, oh god, that's a hasted up Necro. That is fast. They're going to turn around. Sadiko, he's going to pop the borrowed time, but he should fall here. Robotic Shield, he gets blown up. And that trade is probably not worth it for Power Rangers.
Yeah, definitely not. And a good pick out, they were able to use the lasso, get the DP first before the ult happens. And that's really important for them. And they wow, they're still not going to push bottom. This is like really surprising to me. I feel like VP are definitely on a timer this game, but apparently they don't feel the same way.
We'll have to find out. I mean, I actually kind of agree with you here, but I don't know. They are playing this very passively, but at the same time, that might be a blessing for them. If they get too aggressive here, they might be able to just throw this lead. Well, I don't even think they have a lead. In fact, Power Rangers have the net worth lead coming in, but they do have Aegis. They have Roshan control for the most part, I should say. But now that, I mean, Clinks is just, he's starting to tear through people. We'll see what item he gets. Now, you talked about how you saw him play Clinks earlier. What is his general item progression after the Blink Dagger and Desolator?
Well, the last time he went Daedalus first, before Deso. He went Daedalus, Blink, Deso. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a Daedalus next.
That's just so much damage to deal with. It's actually just ridiculous.
It really is. And he just looks for these solo kill pickoffs, and they usually have one hero that can go pick
Dire
pick
structures are
off people
fortified.
with him. Like this, they have the Nixus game
Right.
and the Bane. Before the last game I saw them, they just only had the Bane. Seems to be working.
Well, Cheshire just got blown up. That was the last Landry Flare expended just for that kill alone. A lot of things coming out here. That'll be
Dire's
from
bottom tower is
J4.
under
He's actually
attack.
smoked up. They were trying to pressure the tier 2
Radiant's
tower
middle
bottom,
tower
but
is under attack.
meanwhile, mid, Virtus Pro, they're looking for their tier 2, and this is now,
Radiant structures
this
are
is their time to be
fortified.
aggressive. We talked about it. They have book 3. They have the Hyperstone. They want an Assault Kuros more so than anything else. J4 comes in, Nightmares as well. Can they get anything on the back end of this? They will
Radiant's
take the
middle
tower.
tower
Lycan does
has
get it.
fallen.
Do you... They're going to engage Sadoy, looking for Diddy. They're going to miss the Gale. They do have the gem on Sadoy, by the way, which is very important to note. And they will not secure a kill on that Clinks, who just gets narrowly away from that Venomous Gale coming out from BZZ Venomancer.
Yeah, the gem's gonna be really important, and it's a good hero to have it on. The Bat can just go safely push out lanes now without fear of getting gone on, but actually the Clinks, I guess, has a Blink Dagger, so he's gonna have to be fast on this Blink reaction.
This is just where it gets kind of tricky. I think if that
For
Clinks is
sure.
at any fight, they're just going to destroy him.
Gonna go on Earthshaker.
Jotun might be in some trouble here. Mana Bird doesn't do enough damage. He's right-clicking. He just fished right into that spike carapace, and then DP came in and just cleared him up with a Grip Swarm. It's a bit unfortunate, but he was dead either way, so... Jotun, again, he had a nice start helping his team out, but he's really down in the net worth right now. You look at the supports of Virtus Pro, they are poor. Exorcism for Shockload, this is their go time right now. If they take this, this is a huge victory. They're going to strafe up. Desolator is going to burn this man down. Flame Break. Oh, Diddy's on the cliff. How unfortunate. He will blink in, though. He's fine. Sadoy comes in. Shockload does pick up the Aegis. Lasso goes in. Exorcism blows him up. They're going to fight this J4. There's going to be the Poison Nova coming out. Shockload getting low. He will not have his ultimate up, but Diddy's getting brought down. G destroys him. Mule Scepter up in the air, and somehow Virtus Pro are taking this engagement. Shockload is going to have to get out. He's going to get silenced up, earned as well. G is blowing him away with these right clicks. Concussive shot, BKB. He doesn't want to get slowed. He has no TP scroll, by the way, so he has to straight run from Virtus Pro. Power Rangers somehow lose a great engagement, and Virtus Pro, with the help of that ultimate from the Venomancer, get a lot of kills.
Yeah. I mean, the Exorcism was cooling down just after the Roche attempt, and
Radiant's middle tower
Venom was
is
able
under
to get his
attack.
ult off on 5... Sorry.
Oh, good.
On 5 heroes, and the fight was just
Radiant's
a
top
disaster for Power
tower is
Rangers.
under attack.
I'm surprised it went that poorly. Diddy got blown up, and that's the problem that you have when you are taking a fight when you don't have a BKB. He did purchase it up, and actually I think he might have had it in that fight. He got it off a bit late though. Sadoy now getting caught up with the Impale. Brain Sap. Fisher comes in, but Cheshire Cat blows him up with the Mana Burn. Mule Scepter goes into trouble. Silence. Yeah, they're going to take 2 here. The right click should be enough. He's going to earn himself, but that will not keep him alive.
Radiant's bottom
He's trying to build
tower
towards
is
that
under
Ados,
attack.
man, and he's getting there, but he will fall before he can grab it, so...
Well, G is huge this game. He just picks up his Assault Cuirass and 2,000 gold at 26 minutes.
That fight actually gave him so much money, it was ridiculous.
See that leader in net worth?
He is, by about 2k. But Diddy's going to go on him here. There's going to be the ultimate coming in, and he doesn't do nearly enough damage because of the Assault Cross now. That's probably the... I think that's the issue, is that Assault Cross actually just mitigates a lot of that damage coming in from the flanks.
Mm-hmm.
So either a Daedalus, someone needs to get an Assault Cross of their own, maybe on Power Rangers, and we'll go from there, I suppose.
Yes, indeed. As Cheshire Cat has a gem of his own now, I'm not sure who picked that up for them. Oh wait, that's Jotum's.
That's Jotum's. He actually... Sadoy died in that last engagement.
Okay.
He died
Yeah,
in the pit, and they
okay.
picked it up
Yeah, that's
immediately,
right.
I believe.
Yeah.
So that was a big pickup, a big influx coming out from Power Rangers, and so
I guess
Cheshire
that was
Cat's
the
going to be
one good
counterwarding.
thing. The one good thing that came from last fight.
Well, I mean,
Oh, they got the Roche kill, but
yeah,
they
but
lost 4 and Aegis.
that was a rough fight coming out from Power Rangers. Virtus Pro somehow coming out ahead, and I really thought that was going to be their fight, but Exorcism, I mean, that Death Prophet was just not tanky enough to survive all of that damage. And whether you get a Shiva's Guard, a Bloodstone, which probably is not going to happen, or a Heart of Trask, which is the more likely option, that I think he needs one of those items to stay alive in these team fights, because he's just falling too quickly.
I mean, Lycan just does too much damage when you can't kite him. And they were all stuck in the pit, and then they all walked out, and then the DP just got shredded by the Lycan.
My god, that's the story of Gotham. Walk 2 feet into the jungle, put down a Centaur, and just die in 3 hits from a Clinks. He's like... shit.
He is also really farmed. I imagine we'll see the Daedalus coming out next.
I mean, he needs an extra source of damage, and if Daedalus is the choice, then I'm all for it. Power Rangers are going to need something.
They're smoked.
Good, yeah, I mean, but that's really good rotations coming out from Virtus Pro. Understanding that they are going to start rotating over for Virtus Pro in the jungle, but they back out. BZZ is in the mid lane. Shockwell has his exorcism. We haven't really seen him use this to take down towers. It's been kind of tough. Meanwhile, Cheshire Cat is chasing after BZZ. He decides to not go for the Vendetta hit. And BZZ actually just backs away. Meanwhile, Yol blink away. Concussive shot goes. It actually does miss. The Photic Shield is now up. They need to take this tower, I think. I mean, they have Strafe, and they will take this tower down, or at least try to. Segoy is Fireflied up. Fisher's going to come in. BKB's available. Photic Shield, they will just back away.
I don't think that's a good fight at this point in time. Maybe it's okay they got the level 16 Death Prophet ults. I think honestly either team can win team fights at this point in time.
I think, yeah, absolutely. It's very close. It really comes down to, more than anything, I think BKB usage and physical damage output. That's
just
it.
Finished his BKB.
Yeah, he picks that up, and I don't know. I still think the Clinks could just still blow through him if he gets a Daedalus.
What does BKB offer him this game? Fiend Script goes through, Exorcism goes through. I mean, it's basically just the Nyx at this point.
That's about it. That actually does not that much.
It's really not.
It's a lot of physical damage that he has to deal with.
I feel like maybe he would have been better served going a heart. We see that a lot on Lycan.
I don't think it's bad. I mean, BKB's never a bad choice.
I'm sure it's not the worst item to go, but you want me to get a bit of magic damage, so...
It's just like, that's just the best thing to say. I'm sure it's not the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, Diddy getting caught out, they lasso him up and they grab him.
I mean,
he
could buy a Dagon after all, or something.
That's true. But they actually had a Sentry Ward there. They will secure a kill, and he's forced to buy back. Blink and Pell coming in, G. Mana Burn as well. His Necro 3 was just used. Here's the Exorcism going in. No. Can they catch him out? They needed a Fiend Script. J4. That Fisher actually saved their lives. They tried to force into the Fiend Script coming out. J4 not wanting to go on Yol. Braincept does go up leave. BKB for Diddy. They're going to flick it to the high ground. Now she's going to BKB as well. There's the Fiend Script coming in, but Jadam's going to come in and echo. But the silence coming in from Shockwell stops it. Is this enough? There's the Nightmare. Poison Nova does get off. Suniko has to pop his borrowed time. Blank looking for a lasso. There's the echo. Jadam gets it off onto Cheshire Cat. Fisher coming in onto 2. But they have to back away. They're a bit too low here, as is everyone else from Power Rangers. Suniko might fall. Photic keeping him up and alive right now, but barely. And he will back away. The Poison Sting, not enough. Heart is finally done. This is going to be an item that I think might secure Power Rangers a couple of engagements.
Yeah. What a crazy fight that was. Power Rangers played that so well. I thought they were all going to get echoed, and then a great silence comes out from Shotchlo, followed up by a Nightmare onto the Earthshaker, which prevented him from using Echo Slam for like, I don't know what that is, like it was like 10 seconds, I think.
It was a long time.
That was pretty crazy.
He just couldn't do much there. And that's the problem with not having a Blink Dagger, although Jadam is close. I mean, and it's as long as you can get the Blink in the game, you know, when your team is still somewhat in a comfortable position, you can start making plays. So
if he had Blink Dagger in the last fight, they actually would have just killed them all.
Yeah, yeah, they'd be dead. They would just be toast. Diddy with his BKB Midas 2.9. We'll probably see that Daedalus next after the BKB was finished up. And Virtus Pro are just kind of wandering around top.
Honestly, I think the Blink on Earthshaker might be the difference maker this game. That it'll give him a bit extra counter engage that they're sort of lacking, but they only have the Fissure right now. So if Power Rangers are able to get in after the Fissure, they really don't have anything left. Maybe the Flame Break, but if they have the Blink Echo Slam, that'll be a pretty big deal in these team fights.
Yeah. Well, I think because they're all clumped up pretty together as well. And the Basher is completed now, coming up from Lycan. So You pick up an Abyssal Blade, and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter if you have a Blink Dagger on that Clinks, you're just dead, actually. And the Basher as well is going to be pretty important. I'd say, honestly, if it wasn't for, you know, G having as much farm as he did, I'd say Power Rangers are in a good position. But G is 21,000 in terms of net worth right now. I mean, he is farmed, and they'll look to take Roshan pretty soon as well. It is close to max duration respawn, but they'll be able to be patient and wait, and maybe they can get a pick off on the back end if somebody. Shaklo is very tanky now with the Heart of Trask, but Diddy's getting caught out again. Lasso, they're going to blow him up, and that's another Jeb coming into play for Sidoi. Just a bit of a bad position coming up from Diddy. He actually has no buyback. He just used it. They're going to push straight down mid. I think that could have been a game-losing pickoff.
2 racks, I think.
Yeah, and if Cheshire Cat goes down as well, this is really troublesome. They'll force away Vendetta as well, but Sidoi does have the blink. He's nowhere nearby, though, and actually Cheshire Cat will make it out of there somehow. Shackle is going to have to do his best.
Maybe they can hold with Exorcism.
That's my thought process as well, but this is going to be tough. Ultimate now coming out from G. Yule sets her up in the air. They're going to try to bring low these neutrals. Meanwhile, there's going to be the BKB for G. Sidoi getting low. Exorcism popping down Sidoi. But Shackle is getting chased down by G. There's a bash that forces away. They're not pushing the base. Echo Sled coming in onto 3. Jottam kills 1. He's about to fall, though. G still going to work. His ultimate now down, taking a lot of damage. I don't think they can take the racks. They have to back away. The buyback from Cheshire Cat as well as from J4, but they cannot find a kill on the back end of this. G is getting out. Sidoi is getting out. Yole's getting out. BZC is going to make it away. No, just kidding. Yole's up. Nope. Tail misses, but there's the poison over. They might be able to turn this. Power Rangers should have just taken that fight and backed away. G going to work the poison Nova, doing so much damage. Shaklo, Cheshire Cat. Shaklo is about to fall. It's a team wipe. Power Rangers, they came outside of the base and they throw away whatever advantage they had in a weird fight. That poison Nova, though, from BZZ secures them at least 1 set of racks, if not 2. And GG is in fact called. It secures them the game.
Well, that escalated quickly. I mean, we were probably gearing up for a 15 or 16 minute game, and then Clinks gets picked off with no buyback. Probably a bit of an overextension, you know, in the jungle with no buyback, and then they walk down mid. Power Rangers defend the Raxes really well, and then they decide to chase into the jungle, and they get 4-man Venomancer ulted, and then they just all die.
That was a very strange. That game was very even up until that point, up until Diddy got picked off.
Yeah, I think
and then they just
not
threw it away.
Chased, the game could have been 20 minutes longer, probably.
No, I agree with you completely. So Power Rangers, a bit of a misplay there, and they go down yet again. That's going to be their 4th loss, I believe, here in Dota Pit League Season 2. And obviously, you look at Virtus Pro, they're actually right up there in terms of the top of the stage right now, of the group stages here in their group. They're sitting pretty at this point, I believe, with 5 wins. They are tied with Evil Geniuses, I believe, in points. EG actually have 1 loss. So if Virtus Pro win this next game, they're going to be atop the group. So big game coming up from them here next. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Our second game of the day, we have 2 best of 2s coming up, obviously. This one, and of course, Virtus Pro versus 4ASC. So, guys, stick around. Make sure you join us here for game number 2 between Virtus Pro and Power Rangers. If you liked us, make sure you follow us at MontDota on Twitter for myself. And, of course, with me is at F4LDota. Also, check out twitter.com/DotaPit and DotaPit.com for more information. We'll be back in just a second, guys. Stick around.